Yes, sir.
Alright, bet. Alright, y'all. Welcome back to another rendition of the Cozy Podcast. Here with my man's Zaya, aka Steady Wave. Also with our man's Nuke Wavy in the back on the production duties today. Today we got a special guest. She makes her own clothes, studies at FIT, and has her own aspirations, through fashion and just in the art industry in general. I like to introduce Ariel to the Cozy Podcast.
Thanks for having me. It's so exciting.
Yeah, so to start it off, tell the people a little bit about yourself, what you're doing, everything, that you get into.
Well, my name's Ariel. I'm from South Jersey. I really like fashion design. I've been into fashion, music, art since I was a little girl. I'm trying to think of what else to say. Yeah, I mean, that's just a summary. I don't really know. It's just
How you get interested into fashion?
how did it start?
Yeah.
Okay, so basically when I was a little girl,
Hold
my
up.
mom.
Hold that thought.
Okay.
I just want to fix something.
The
real
mic.
quick. Yeah.
Okay.
No, it wasn't you. It wasn't you. You good now.
All right. So basically it started when I was a little girl. My mom would always buy me purses. Actually it would be her purse, but I would drag it because it's so big. And also she said when I was a little girl, in the stroller, I would touch the clothes, and even in middle school, high school, I was always about clothes. I always loved fashion. So originally I was thinking of being an artist, just doing painting, but I was like, am I gonna make money with that? So I was like, all right, let's do fashion. So my mom was like, well, you need to go to community college first and see if that's really what you want to do. So I was there for 2 years. I did fashion design. While I was there, I was the fashion club president, so I was able to do fashion shows, be the creative director of it. So then after that, I was like, I really want to get into FIT. And they were like, it's going to be really hard for you. It's a really hard school to get into. It's like the Yale of fashion design. So that's really hard. Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to get in. I don't care. So I tried out 3 times. And some people were like, dang, you going to keep applying? Just go somewhere else. And I was like, no, if I'm gonna be in fashion design, I need to be in the top school for it. So I ended up going to FIT, but I've just always had a calling to it with my style. I feel like I use my clothes as expression. So I was just like, this is the road I'm getting into. So it's just always been in me, basically.
So you chose that school because it's a top school?
Yeah, and I know.
Business?
Yeah, and the fashion industry is very hard to get into. So it's really about who you know and your skills. And I was like, if I'm going to do this, then this is what I've been wanting to do, just get into art and fashion, then I need to be in the top school.
Oh.
So I went there, and it was just like, this is it. I got to be in New York. If I'm going to do this, I got to be in New York. Because some people, it's like, yeah, I could have just started my own brand, but I'm like, I want to work my way up into the industry, so I need to be at the best school for that.
So how do you feel about New York now that you going to school out there? It's different than just it is?
Yeah, it's day and night, because South Jersey, that's where I'm from. It's suburbs, and then you go in the city and you're like, oh my gosh, it's a lot of people, noise, and I was homesick. I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm so used to being back home. But I love New York. Everybody's very warm and welcoming. And to some people, they're like, oh my gosh, I'm scared of New York. Ugh. But I was a little nervous. But then once I started making friends and going to events, I was like, all right, I love it here.
What part of the city is in Manhattan?
Yeah, Manhattan. Yeah.
And how long you been there so far, FIT?
I think we're going into, this is the 2nd year.
Oh, all right, so you graduate in 2 years from now?
Yeah, 2024.
Oh, yeah.
But I was in the 1-year program, which is really intense. I was taking 6 classes. But I did the 1-year program, and now I'm in my bachelor's. So you have to do your associates, and then you get into your bachelor's. So I'm in my bachelor's for sportswear now.
Word. So did going to school, going to that school, did it allow you to respect the field that you in more? Do you have more love for it, or did it
that's a good question. I mean, I have love for it, but before, when I was in community college, I was like, all right, this is fashion design. But then when I went to FIT, I was like, it's kind of like a science to it, because you gotta drape, you gotta pattern make, you gotta draw your ideas, you gotta think about the business side of it. Like, it's a lot of aspects. So it made me feel like more love, but also more like, oh my gosh, like, this is like, I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of like Picasso with his paintings, like his sculptures. Like, you really got to be in tune with it. So it just made me appreciate it more, I guess. If that makes sense.
So the city has a lot of, it's like a big fashion industry over there.
Yeah. But also a lot of things, before I decided to go to New York, everybody was like, it doesn't matter where you go. Because, like, if you really want to do something, like, you're going to do it. But I felt personally, for me, if I want to build myself and my skills and network, New York was the best place. But it is known for the industry. But there's people in, like, Philadelphia and I'm trying to think where else, DMV area and stuff like that.
Were there any other schools that you were thinking about or considering?
Yeah, I was thinking Drexel, but I was just like, I don't know, like, something about New York, because, you know, when you do the campus tours and you're like, oh my gosh, like, I love this, and Drexel was just so big, and then I was just like, it's something's not, I gotta be in tune with it, and I wasn't, so I was like, I'm gonna go to FIT.
Drexel was in Philly?
Yeah, Philadelphia.
Okay, where did you ever take fashion in high school?
No, because I went to a public high school, so there was no, like, fashion design, arts, or nothing like that. I was mainly in, like, choir, and I liked art classes. Like, I was really, really low-key in high school. So when I went to community college, that's when I learned fashion like that, because growing up, I was just watching, you know, like, MTV Music Video Awards and just studying the clothes and being like, oh, I like that. Who's the designer? And I was looking at magazines, watching music videos, like hip-hop music videos, trying to get inspiration. And then once I went to community college, that's when I was like, all right, let's make my own stuff. Let's do fashion shows, you know, build my portfolio and stuff.
Well, I had took fashion sophomore year of high school. So I got to learn how to sew and use, iron clothes more properly.
Yes.
I created, like, the button-down t-shirts, polos, pants, all types of shit like that. It was cool though, but I only took it for 1 year. I feel like if I would have paid attention a bit more, I would have had more fun. But I just took it because that was like the last elective that I could have taken.
Okay.
But once, like, the school year kept going on, I started to like it more. And one of the boys that was actually in my class now, he actually does something with fashion. I don't know exactly what he does, but I know he be in the city as well. This Asian boy, and he be like dealing with jewelry and a whole lot of shit like that. So yeah, I guess
I'm gonna need his contact.
I got you.
Okay, yeah.
I got you.
That's what's up.
Yeah. So, what kind of led you outside of, you know, like you said, your mom pointing out your own personal interests as you were a kid? What kind of led you, inspiration-wise, to wanting to pursue fashion as a career?
It's family, but it's also like what I was around growing up. Like, for example, the music videos and, like, watching music awards and stuff. Like, I was always like, oh, I want to make their clothes, and, like, how, you know, how do you go about putting on something like that on a nice, you know, celebrity? So I feel like it was family too, though, because I found out kind of like when you come to this realization, like, full circle. So when I was in FIT my first year, I was talking to one of my family members, and my nana, she passed when I was a young girl, like really young, like maybe 7 or 8. And my mom was, it wasn't my mom, it was another family member, and they were like, you know, like, Nana, she was a seamstress on base. And I was like, I didn't even know that. So to an extent, I kind of feel like it was through her, through me, if that makes any sense. Like, it's kind of in my blood to do this path. So that inspired me to, like, just go even more forward. But I'd say outside of that, like, definitely the things around me. I hope I answered that the right way.
No, I understand what you mean.
I hope, like, it's kind of like myself too, because I've always used clothes as, like, a confidence thing, like, not even just confidence, but just to express myself. So I was just like, I want to tell a story with my clothes, and I want people to wear my clothes and feel inspired and confident within themselves. So that's also a drive for my inspiration to do it too.
So, what are the inspirations behind certain pieces that you make?
Okay, so can I show what I'm wearing? So, this shirt I made for a men's collection. So I don't know if y'all are familiar with Kill Bill, the one scene with the tears of blood on in her eyes. So I made a whole collection inspired by denim and 90s hip hop. So I was just thinking about Kill Bill. Like, I wanted to make a collection that was what's the word? Like, I was just thinking about a man, and I was thinking about me too. Like, I feel like sometimes what I'm trying to say. I feel like sometimes, like, men, you guys have emotion too. So I was like, how do I show that within my piece? So I was like, alright, let's do Kill Bill. Like, that's a really well-known film. I also like the aesthetics in the film and the storyline of, like, power, revenge. And then also music inspires me too. Earl Sweatshirt, I was listening to his song Power, and I made, like, I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's like little cartoons.
Word.
And it's about the idea of kind of being lost, in a sense, lost but found. So it has like a lot of thoughts, and he's just like on his own way. So when I was making this collection, I had a lot of emotions going on. And usually at FIT, like, I did more, what's the word, like dressy stuff. But before FIT, I was just doing this in the summertime, and I was like, I gotta do something creative. Like, I had like a creative block, I guess. So I was just like, okay, how can I get out of it? So I just went to Goodwill, and I started doing like patchwork. So these are from different jeans, and I just cut them up. I'm even like wearing one right now. Actually, it's like ombre.
Word.
So I was like, I gotta get out of this creative block. So I was like, what inspires me? So I started listening to Biggie, Wu-Tang Clan, and then I was listening to Earl Sweatshirt, and then I was like, alright, let's watch a movie. I was like, let's watch Kill Bill. So that was kind of an inspiration. Each collection I make, it tells a story of like different emotions. I feel I just kind of put that together. Like, this was kind of like the emotion of like lost but found at the same time, but also trying to be cool and make it through whatever you gotta go through.
How long does it take you to make make the pieces that you make?
This one I think took like 2 days because I took breaks.
Mm-hmm.
This one probably like an hour, and then the shirt's an hour, and then this probably took an hour too. But the ombre, because I was really like, I don't know if you can see, but it's like light.
Yeah,
dark.
I see.
Yeah, like I was very, and I had to hand sew it, so it was very like tedious. So this one took like 2 days.
Word. Shit. What's some pros and cons you have with designing your own clothes?
Pros and cons. Okay, I'm gonna start with the cons. Because growing up, I was like, okay, designers, like, they can just start and, like, they'll have a vision and they could just do it. When I design, I have, like, the vision and then I do it, and I'm like, I'm not impressed. Like, that's the con. The pro of making it is, like, I don't know, you're kind of just like, oh my gosh, I did that. Because you have this idea, it starts on paper, and then you either drape it or pattern make it, and then you see it, and you're just like, oh, it's like a relief. It's kind of like a rapper when they drop a mixtape. Like, you're like, whoa. Like,
So before you so when did you learn how to sew clothes and all? When you were young?
Yeah. But also a lot of things. Before I decided to go to New York, everybody was like, it doesn't matter where you go, because like, if you really want to do something, like, you're gonna do it. But I felt personally, for me, if I want to build myself and my skills and network, New York was the best place. But it is known for the industry. But there's people in like Philadelphia and I'm trying to think where else, DMV area and stuff like that.
Younger?
I learned how to sew when I was in community college. So growing up, I didn't really know how to sew. I didn't really have an idea of how to sew, but I always had the vision in my head. So I would always draw. I was more of a drawer than hands-on.
So you City. Oh, word. So you went to community college in Jersey or the city?
In Jersey.
South Jersey?
Yeah, yep. Burlington County. Rowan College of Burlington County.
Burlington County?
Yeah.
Word.
So there's two. There's one in the main location, and then they had a community college.
So the main location, is that like north?
Lord, I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't think it's north. I think it's like
in the middle of Jersey.
maybe, yeah. I might have to look it up, but it's in Jersey though.
You got any fashion artists or designers in the industry right now, like that's in Hollywood that you like?
Yeah. Honestly, the crazy thing is like designer wise, like I'm always gonna look up to Virgil because I feel like he did a lot for our community, and that's a big goal of mine. Is I don't want to say be like him because I can't be like him, but the idea of building up a brand and make it my own, and then starting my own brand and doing that. So I would say him. I'm drawing a blank. I really get my inspiration from rappers too, like the music industry. Like their lyrics, like kind of inspire me to go harder within my craft, if that makes sense. Or like, my mind is so like.
So what rappers or artists that you like that you take? They're not take, but that you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know, like inspired for their style.
Word.
I don't know if y'all know Navy Blue. He's like underground navy blue. Oh my gosh, there's so many. Earl Sweatshirt, Mike. They have more of a, I don't even know what to call it. I don't want to say minimalist, but like they'll just wear like a nice jacket or a nice tee and some cargo pants and like fly shoes. I'm trying to think of who else. Like Tupac, Biggie. I have some friends that I know that are in the industry. They inspire me as well by their style. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank.
It's all good.
But like those are some that I could think of right now. I swear there's more. A$AP Rocky, of course. He's always fly with his stuff.
Word.
So growing up, what were you really attracted to or drawn to in terms of the people that you named?
Like what connected me to them?
Yeah.
Okay, so alright, so growing up I was watching music videos. So I would watch like Missy Elliott, Busta Rhymes, and what attracted me to them was like their creativity within the music videos, like the colors, the shapes, the storyline. I'm trying to think of who else. Biggie. I just like attitude. That's one thing that also inspires me with my work is attitude, like how you carry yourself. It just makes me like want to make clothes that empower that person.
Where you ever thought having people model your clothes for you?
Oh yeah.
Word.
I'm already on that. I always ask friends, and you know I've been trying to work more with rappers because you know they're like a big part of my story in a sense. Not like that, but as far as inspiring my craft and my confidence within my craft. So I would say that.
What about sneakers? You ever thought about making sneakers?
Oh yeah.
Word.
Well, first of all, okay, I know like fashion design, but there's more to me that I want to do. Like I have a very like ambitious mind, so I want to do fashion. Of course, clothes. I want to do women and men. I want to do sneakers. I also want to own a winery one day and a tea shop. To some that's like, oh, okay, that's random, but it's what I want to do. And I also like music. I sing too. So there's different paths that I want to go through. So I do want to do shoes though. I think that's so dope.
Like you want to make them or just design them? Both?
Both.
Word.
Why not? There's no limit. For sure.
What singers you like right now? Or that you like that's in the past you still listen to?
I mean, it's like a whole catalog. We got Sade, of course.
Do you take inspiration from singers too? Or only
rappers, singers, like everybody. Like, I love Sade, Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, but then I also listen to like people like RX Poppy, Homage to Headshots, my friend Merkaba, Earl Sweatshirt, Tyler the Creator, like an alternative singers. It's a lot. It's like Beauty and the Beast when Belle had her whole like library. Like that's how I am with music. I'm just like, oh my gosh, where do I go?
You listen to the new singers today?
Yeah.
Did you listen to that SZA album?
Yes, I did.
Is it good?
What's your top ones? I like Gone Girl.
I ain't listened to it. I just want to know, is it good?
What? That's the hottest of the block, man. Yeah, I love me some SZA. Oh my god, I love her. Yeah, you gotta listen to that.
Word. Alright. What's the pros and cons of your school? Like,
I don't know if I can answer that. I gotta show love to FIT.
well, what's something that you feel like that you're not fond of the school, but you like still get through it because that's what you want to do?
I'm still not sure how to go about answering that.
You don't got really like.
I'm gonna reflect it to myself.
Word.
I guess I'll reflect it to myself. So you said the pros and cons of the school, right?
Or just something that you're not fond of, but you still like look past it, or you just let it go because you know that you want to go there because it's the top fashion school and you want.
Okay, so I'll break it down. I'm gonna go back in time. So I was in the 1-year program. That's like a very competitive program. They only accept so many students. So I had class Monday through Friday from like 9 to 5. But then I'd still have to stay at the lab until maybe 2 o'clock in the morning. And I had a class where it was like...
Wait, this was one class, 9 to 5?
2.
Oh.
It could be 2 or it could be 1. I know, it's about to get intense. So like I had, for example, I had a draping class. Mind you, I've never draped before.
Wait, you could explain that?
Draping.
I heard of
Okay,
it,
yeah.
I don't know what it is.
So draping is when you're kind of like a sculpture with the fabric. So if I have like a mannequin and I want to make a dress, I'm kind of just...
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're like
word.
Picasso with it.
Word.
So I had a draping class Mondays and Wednesdays. So the class would be from 9 to 1 o'clock. And we had a demo for like, I don't know, like an hour. So the demo was from like that time. And then we'd have an hour to do our own work. And I would have like anxiety because I'm like, I've never draped before. Like, I didn't learn that. I learned how to sew and pattern make. But the draping, I was like, it was a big learning curve. And then I was feeling a bit like insecure because I'm like, ooh, all my classmates are like this. And I'm just like, ooh, how you do that? How you do that? So I had that class. And that class was Mondays and Wednesdays, and then I had another draping class that was from like 1 to 5, and it was draping. This is all draping all day. So I had that class, and then I'd still have to stay to do homework because that assignment is due Wednesday. So I'd stay until like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm saying that all to say, like, what I had to learn, which I don't want to say a con, I would just say a learning curve, is even when I wanted to just be like, oh my gosh, like, is this meant for me? Because there's times when you're doing assignments and you're just like, this is taking a lot of time and I'm exhausted. And then you got to get critiqued on it, and the professor could be like, oh my gosh, I love this. Or they'll be like, you need to go back and do it. And there's times where I had to do assignments like 3 times because the professor wasn't impressed. So I would have to stay at the lab, like, knocking it out, like, I don't want to call it a con, it's just a learning curve, because when I was in community college, I never had to do that. Like, I never had to stay at the lab till 2 o'clock in the morning, even though I had class at 9 o'clock in the morning, like 9:10. So I was, yeah, I don't want to call it a con, though. It definitely, like, improved me as a person, like, my work ethic, because I've always had a really good work ethic. Like, there's times I'm in class and people are like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm really tired, but I gotta knock it out. I want to get this degree and I want to get a job. So if I gotta be exhausted and look like a zombie in class, it is what it is.
What the homework be looking like? Like, what type of homework do you get? Like designing clothes, or like, yeah.
So that's a good one. Yeah, designing clothes for sure. I can give you an example. So this last semester, in my 1-year program, it was a lot more assignments. So for example, in the draping class I was telling you about, we had to drape like a shirt and a skirt. And in class you'd have time, but for the assignment it had to be done so that it could be critiqued, looked at, and said like your grade. Right. So you have to, like, I had to do stuff like that. For drawing, you'll have to make like 25 thumbnails. And then you still gotta go out and do research on the garments, so market research. So stuff like that. of course, designing, like, I had to make a 3-piece collection, but we had the whole semester to do that. But yeah, like designing, drawing, computer stuff, like Photoshop, Illustrator, making flats, like it's...
So you gotta learn all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's not for some, but like, that's why people always say, or the people that I've met, they're always like, you gotta make sure you love this, because you gotta eat, breathe, and sleep it. Like, it's no break. Like, you have to love it. And I love it, because I'm like, this is what I love. Like, I've always loved clothes. I've always loved my own style. And I was thinking about, like, what's the bigger picture? Because there's times when I was in my dorm and I was like, is this really for me? Like, am I meant to do this? And then I was like, wait, you tried out 3 times for this school. Like, you know what you want to do. You know what your end goal is. So, like, why are we giving up now? So it's a lot of, like, you know, I'm talking to myself and just be like, you can do it. The bigger picture. Like,
Word.
that's it.
What's your favorite piece of garment to make? Like top, bottom?
I would say tops.
Right.
But I'm finding that, because you know, there's times, like, at least for myself, I was a bit like, what do I like to do? Because every designer has their own signature. So for me, I was like, in my classes, for example, I don't know if I have the picture. I'm gonna try to find it. I had to make a capstone, which is kind of like a final, but it could be in an exhibit, an associate's exhibit, and it would be on like 27th Street. There's a big glass window, and everybody could walk by and see your garments. Like, it's pretty big. It's a big deal. I didn't get into it, but I was like, the assignment was to make a garment that represents New York. So I was like, well, I'm going to do denim. Mind you, I just had this denim collection I made. So I was just like, oh, like, let's do denim again. So I'm saying this all to say I've realized that I like making denim garments. Like, I feel like that's my calling in a sense. And that's what I want to do. Like, I want to make denim pants, denim jackets, like maybe like a jumper. Like, I'm really into that. I'll find the picture for you later. But I'm finding that I really like making denim pieces. But I really like making tops. I actually made, like, knitwear is fun too.
Knitwear? Like
Knitwear.
just knitting?
No, well, there's that. But if you go to Goodwill, like, what I did is I was taking an intro to knitwear class, and we had to make sweaters. But we had to make the sweaters out of other sweaters. So at Goodwill, I would just take different sweaters and cut them up and then overlock it, which is just another way of stitching. Overlock it together. So what I did is I was in my dorm and I made like 3 different sets. Like, I made a gray set. It was a skirt and a top, and then I made a hoodie. Out of a hoodie, I made 2 sets. So I made a skirt and, like, cut the hoodie up and stuff like that.
Do you get like sponsors and stuff like that?
No, not yet.
Nah. Do you be on TikTok?
No.
No. There's this boy that live around me down the street. He's like, I say he like at most 18, and he make his own clothes and stuff too. But he be getting sponsored by like Journeys and things like that. So
what?
Yeah, but I don't know how. Like, he's the only one that I ever seen that I know personally.
Through marketing, the way he market his brand and stuff, using like TikTok and Instagram Reels, like
facts. Cause he do be posting reels. Like, he'll post like whatever fit he gonna wear for the day, or like whatever fit he wearing for a photo shoot, things like that. Fact, so I think you should do that. Like,
I definitely will.
Like, sometimes he might make a reel of him sewing some of the clothes he about to make together, things like that. Word.
No, my friends were telling me I should do that. See, that's my, I don't want to say a problem, but there's some stuff I'm just sacred towards, and I feel like my designs, I'm like, ooh, like, I'm nervous because I don't want nobody to steal it, but I'm also like, how am I gonna, like, market myself if I don't? So I'm working on that.
So do you want to, like, alright, so with the fashion industry, do you get a deal or something? Like, from a certain company, or are you just like an independent contractor or something?
I mean, I guess everybody has like a different path. But from what I know is basically people go to school, you know, they go to college, they get their degree, they do internships. Internships are what really pushes you through that door. And then you do like assistant designer, and then you basically got to work your way up through corporate, and then you become like a creative director.
So do you like designing clothes?
Yeah.
What's your favorite one?
The favorite piece I made.
No. Like designer clothes, like high end clothes, like Da Vinci and all that. Shit.
Oh
Do you
yeah,
like any of that?
yeah, I love that.
What's the best brand you think?
Oh Lord, that's brand. Don't put me on the spot.
Or like top 5 brands.
I would say Pyre Moss because he's a black designer.
Pyre Moss?
I don't know if I said his name right. Lord, forgive me. I
never
can't
heard
say
of
it.
I never heard of that.
He's a black designer. He's really well known. I want to work for him one day. Oh Lord, it got hot all of a sudden. Givenchy. Let's see.
Pyre Moss.
No, it's Pyermoss.
Oh, okay.
Don't know if I said it right. So sorry if I butchered it. Diesel because of the denim.
You ever heard of that? You heard of that before? Diesel?
Hey, you are. I know that's right. Okay. No, they do like denim and like kind of where my aesthetic is going. So like kind of like Stacy but modern.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really dope.
Do you like Louis Vuitton, any of that?
Oh yeah. Sure. The nurse was getting to me. I was like, wait, I'm on the spot. But yeah, Louis Vuitton, of course.
How long has Amary's been out? Been out for a little minute now?
The what?
Amary's?
Amary's?
Oh!
I was like, what is that? Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Alright, so I have a question.
Oh, Lord.
What be going on to make these designers get popping out of nowhere? Like, what's going on behind the scenes?
I don't know. That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's why I'm going to school. That's why I'm in New York.
Because I'm like, I never heard of Amary's.
I feel like what really makes things pop off is who you know.
Word.
You could have skills. You could be like freaking amazing, but if you don't know how to talk to people and you don't know how to network, there's only so far you can go. So I feel like it's all about who you know. That's how people are going crazy with it. I wish I had deals. That's in the plans. I pray I get a deal for somebody.
Okay, word. I got a question right here. I got a trivia question for you.
Oh no.
Do you know who the first quote unquote fashion designer is?
No. So embarrassing.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? Like I took a 21st fashion design history class. Yeah. I don't know.
It's Charles Frederick Worth.
Wait, I learned about him. Yeah. Whoops. I hope y'all don't think I'm not a designer now. You're probably like, this girl's cap.
Nah.
No, I learned about him. That's crazy. Awkward.
So is there like, what's the demographic like in the fashion industry? Are there like a lot of black people that do fashion? Or nah, not really?
There is, but I'm going through that right now with myself. So that's why I'm like getting like this about the question. So that's why my mom was kind of like iffy about me getting into fashion design because there's not a lot of us.
Oh, okay.
There's not a lot of us represented. So, sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I didn't lose my train of thought, but I was trying to figure out how to go about this. But what I'm having trouble, when I first went into FIT, I was in my class and I was like, I'm the only black girl in here. And there was times I was just like, I don't want to say this. There's gonna be some people that as soon as they see me, it's already like she ain't got nothing.
Word.
Like what does she have to offer? So that's another thing that's inspiring me within my drive to want to be in fashion design is that like I'm doing it for us. I'm doing it for, you know, the girl that's like, dang, like I want to get into fashion design, but they're saying it's really hard because I'm a black girl and, you know, like I'm gonna just stay away and do this other path. But for me, I'm like, I gotta do it because if I don't, then who else is, if that makes sense.
No,
so like the demographic is it's low, but FIT does have a BSU, Black Student Union.
Oh, okay.
And within the industry, I've heard like it's not. I mean, there's us, but I feel like it might be hard to find us, and that's what I'm working on while being in New York. Is trying to network more with black designers and try to meet more black mentors that can help me with my path.
So
it's not.
So you've been to Soho before?
Yeah.
It's nice over there? Well,
Yeah.
I don't want to say nice, but like, it'd be active over there?
Yeah,
Word?
yeah. I mean, I really stay in Manhattan. This year I've been more to Brooklyn
Okay.
because of events and networking. But yeah, Soho it's nice over there.
You thought about like,
I was about to say, have you met anybody that you feel like is significant to your success so far in New York?
Yes. I want to say my professor. I don't want to say her name, but she's a black professor, and I just met her this year. But she's like my first black professor I've ever had in my like whole school career, even outside of fashion. So I want to say like she's definitely helped me like as far as inspiring and encouraging, because when I was in the 1 year program it was really intense, and I do stuff and I wouldn't have the confidence. Like I'd do it and then the professor would be like, you need to redo this, and then I'd have a breakdown because I'm like, I was staying up till 3 o'clock in the morning working on this and you don't like it. So she kind of just when I met her I was just like, I need to get to know her. So I talked to her one-on-one, and she just gave me words of encouragement, and like if I'm doing something like I shouldn't be doing, not in that way, but within the craft, like if she sees me doing like a lousy mistake, she's like, come on, like you know better than that. And I'm like, all right, let me get it together.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely her.
Would you become a professor?
Yeah, I was thinking of it, low key. I feel like I would be really good, probably like late in my career, because I like helping people, I like bettering people, and you know, I want that for myself, so I love that.
Or when you say you're looking for people in the city that you could connect with, like within your demographic, you thought about like collabing with certain people?
Yeah. For FIT, I have to do a thesis for my last year, I believe. So my idea is to do hip hop, since I've been inspired by it my whole life. So what I want to do is I want to do like a mini film. I don't know why I'm saying this out loud, but basically what I want to do is, since I'm inspired by Wu-Tang Clan, I want to do like a collection based off of them, but involving like denim. So I would have like different models. I'm doing women's wear, but I want to do men's wear too, so it might be men and women. But I want to do like a film where it's basically showing off the clothes, and I also want to involve rappers because, you know, they're big inspo in it. So I definitely want to work with more artists, like singers, musicians. I also really want to be a stylist. So like styling the music videos and coming up with the vision and making it all together.
Do you ever look at the Met Gala?
Yes!
Word.
Oh my gosh!
Word.
I love it. It's really huge.
Do they make, like, not make you, but do they like insist that y'all do it at school?
Oh yeah.
Word.
School, like this year, because you know every semester is different. But I was taking this class, and it's a lifestyle collection class. So the professor was always saying, like, make sure y'all go to these stores and look at how they're making the clothes, and look at ask the key holder like what's selling more in the store, what's making more sales. So they're always pushing us to look in stores, go outside, like get inspiration from different museums, but also to look back in time, like go to the library, look at old Vogue magazines and see what they were doing to get inspo for now.
Word.
Yeah.
Shit, what's some favorite, like, what's like your favorite color?
My favorite color? It changes, but I would say this color, I don't know if you can see it. It's like a baby pink. Okay. But I also like jade green. But I love cream too.
So you like to design clothes with that color?
Not necessarily. That's a good I mean, honestly, I do like designing with cream, black, and red. So far, like this semester, I use that a lot. In my one collection, I did the inspiration was black hair. So I did braids. I had to go to the lab and braid hair, literally my hair. I have pictures of that. And hand sew it onto the garment, because I was like, I want to represent the black culture, black hair. So it was black. I did like a neutral beige color and like a denim blue. So
nice. Bird.
You got any pieces or ideas that you want to like work on and showcase in 2023?
Yeah, so I know for sure I want to do again denim because I feel like I was kind of hesitant with it. So I know for like 2023 I think I want to do like an all denim collection, like denim and neutral tones. So like baggy silhouettes with like a tight top or like different jackets, like denim bomber jackets and stuff like that.
What type of energy or what type of energy do you try to put in behind you making your clothes?
Confidence. I'm trying to think of the other word. I wanted to be, when I'm designing, I wanted to be confident, but I also wanted to have meaning. I'm really into making things that tell a story in some sense, where somebody's looking at it and they're studying it. They're not like, okay, that's yellow. Like, okay, it's yellow, but what about the shapes to it? What about the way the stitches are? Like, I really wanted to be poetic, I guess. So confident, poetic.
Do you see yourself creating a brand one day through your fashion and trying to venture off and do more independent stuff without seeking an agency?
Yeah. So this is my plan. My plan is to go to FIT, which I'm in now, and then get an internship with a company, work there. I really want to be a creative director, but in the process I also want to do styling. So I constantly want to put my name out there so that when I have my own brand, it's like, okay, we know who she is, we know what she's about, and then let's just buy her stuff. So the end goal is to have my own brand, but I want to build my brand off of stability. I don't want to just be in it and then I'm lost and I'm not understanding like the business side of it, and like that's important too. I feel like that's something I'm trying to learn more this year, is the business side, because nobody really talks about that aspect as a designer. They're more so focused on the creative, but it's like fashion is a big business. Like there's a lot to it, a lot of factories, a lot of like different behind the scenes. So I really want to make sure I know like every single thing involved.
Through the people that you met, at FIT, has anybody kind of helped you on those nights where you said that you had to stay up till 2 a.m?
Oh my gosh.
If so, who were those people?
Yes. Oh my gosh. My classmates. Shout out y'all. I love you guys. My classmates. But also outside of FIT. My friends outside of FIT. My friend Tramil. There's times I'm calling her and I'm like, I don't know if I could do this. I'll literally be really upset. I'll be like, I don't know if I could do this. Or I'll be in class and I'll just be like, people will, because when I'm upset, I don't really like to show it. I just like to pause and be within myself. And my classmates will be like, what's wrong? What's wrong? So recently, I had to do the braids. So I was braiding for about 4 hours. I was braiding maybe even more than that. I started at 7. I didn't finish braiding until 2 o'clock in the morning. So my classmate, she was there with me. She was like, let's go to the lab. I'll be sewing and then you could braid. So it helped me because I was just doing it. I had somebody there with me. And another instance is my friend Rose. I had to do drawings. I had to do a mood board, and I had to make a whole presentation. And I was like, I have no drive to do it, even though I'm at the finish line. Like, I have one more day and then I'm done with finals. I just could not do it. I was just like, I don't want to do it. I'm drained. Like, I might as well take the L. So I'm talking to my friend Rose, and she's like, I don't want to do this either. And I was like, why don't we just FaceTime? So we ended up on FaceTime, and we were knocking out our stuff. Next thing you know, I have class, and I was like, thank God for you, because like I don't think I could have did it alone. So a lot of my classmates helped me, and friends, they really helped me out.
So the people that you go to school with, do they come from like similar stories of wanting to be in an agency, or more so wanting to be in a lane where they make their clothes independently?
Yeah, for sure. That's like very common. It's either they want to work in the industry or they want to do their own thing. And some of the people I've met, they have a background in it. You know, some are like models, and some have already worked with companies. So it's very inspiring. I feel like my classmates inspire me so much because I'm like, okay, like, and it's always important to treat people how you want to be treated because you just never know who they'll be. So I always try to keep that in my head, like, always just nice and like just thanking them.
So have you styled like a project before for somebody?
No, I want to really bad. I really, really want to. It's a big goal of mine. Like, I want to do that this spring. Trying to figure out how to go about it. Because I've been thinking about even styling my own stuff, which I already do. But I'm like, I need somebody that, you know, I could be...
You could bounce ideas off of?
Yeah. So I've been... Not even just like with rappers and musicians, but like also photographers too. So I'm trying to figure out how to go about it, but that's a big goal. It's a big goal.
Alright. You have any more questions you want to ask me?
Yeah, what's your favorite artist from Wu-Tang?
Oh my god. Method Man? I'm like, that's so typical. I was just listening to him, the one with Mary J. Blige.
Word, yeah.
And I was watching, I was looking at the Army prints, like their fits. I was just like, yeah, I gotta do that.
Word.
So, like, are you like one of those people that kind of look back into like vintage type of stuff as far as like music and movies and things like that?
Yes, it's a big inspo. I really love, I'm really into like the 60s, 50s through the 90s. Like, I always reference my stuff back to that somehow. I'm really into shapes too, so like circles and like asymmetrical.
What is it about that era of time that kind of like draws you in as far as art?
I would believe like the aesthetics, like the colors, it just has like a nostalgic sense to it that I'm just really attracted to. So I'd say that like everything's just different compared to now. I like to mix like then versus my own ideas together.
Okay.
Shit. I got mad questions, but I'm not going to OD.
Why?
I ain't going to OD, but...
Why? I'm here now. I'm here now. What are we doing?
Yeah, I was going to ask, damn, let me try to find a way to word this. So you know the phrase, like, 1,000 pictures worth 1,000 words? Alright, like... Does that have any correlation to when you like style clothes or when you design clothes? So like, you know how people can say like you can look at a image of art and get your own opinion off of it. So when you put clothes together, do you have like, you know, different like, do you have like different ways that you can describe certain pieces that you have on or that you put together or whatever the case may be? Like, you know, you say you like denim, so like if you do something with denim, does it have like a, can you see somebody with a certain piece on and like look at it the same way someone might look at like a picture of art or something like that, or is it two different things?
I feel like I could, yeah.
Word.
I kind of feel like I could interpret it one. That's the fun thing about fashion. That's also why I want to do fashion, because there's no right or wrong answer.
Word.
There's no right or wrong way to look at it and to absorb it. It's just you create it. It's kind of like music. Somebody might think it's trash, somebody might think it's dope. Like, it's kind of like you're free with it. There's no restriction. No right or wrong answer. But yeah.
Shoot. That's what's up. So how long you plan on like staying in that industry doing fashion?
I don't know, man. Until I make $1 million. Until I make like $1 billion. No, realistically, I don't know. Maybe like, I don't know. Honestly, probably till I die. As crazy as that sounds, because it's like I want to build my own brand. So, you know I gotta work my way up. That's probably gonna take 2-3 years. Then by the time you're the creative director there for a couple years, then by the time I build my brand, that's more couple years. So probably till I die, honestly. Till I die. It's crazy to say, but I'm that passionate about it. And I feel like, you know, trying out for FIT 3 times, to some people that's like dang, I would like, why I do that? Because, you know, I had to keep being told this isn't good, and then I had to figure out how to go about it. Like, I didn't have somebody really, how do I word this? What I did is to get into FIT the third time, because I had to keep calling admissions. I would call admissions and I'd be like, hi, like, so I wasn't accepted. I want to know why. So then I figured out it was like my drawings. The drawings weren't strong enough for what they wanted. So I was like, okay. So my mom was like, okay, why don't you take like a non-credit course at the school? So I did that. Mind you, I'm taking the train from Jersey to go there at night. And then the class was like from 6 to 9 o'clock. And then I would also take classes at Mood. Mood is the fabric store that all the designers go to. It's like it's that spot.
In the city?
Yeah, the city, in Manhattan, Garment District. So I was taking classes at Mood, and I was taking classes at FIT non-credit, and then I got in. So I kind of just feel like I went through all that. I went through being told you're not going to get into FIT. I went through being told it's going to be hard for you as a black woman to be in the fashion industry. Like, I went through all this. Like, I might as well make something out of it.
I feel like I didn't know that.
So how do you feel looking back on what you have done so far within the time given?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah.
I feel really proud. Because there was a lot of times I wanted to give up. Not because I think I was just really overwhelmed. You know, like, I was in New York, and then I'm learning new things, and then, you know, I'm not a competitive person. That's just not who I am. But a lot of professors are always like, look at your classmates. That's your competition. And I'm like, but how can they be in my competition if I have a whole different plan? So it's constantly dealing with like being, what's the word? Compared. And then that. So I was dealing with a lot and personal stuff too. So I would say I'm really, really proud of myself. Like, really proud.
Is there anything that you would, like, if you would go back at the start of your college career and kind of guide yourself better on, is there anything that you would kind of change?
No. Because I feel like everything happens for a reason. And there's times I'm like, I might not see it now, but give it 2 years and I'll be like, alright, that's why I had to go the way I went.
There's you know how like every year, every couple months, like the black community choose to have some new type of lingo or style and shit. Does that like does that
inspire my work?
Yeah, or does it make you like switch up the type of clothes and stuff you wear, or nah? Or not wear, but the type of clothes you produce, or nah? You just stick to your lane?
Not really. I just stick to my lane. The thing is, when I design, I'm just like, how do I feel? And then I just go from feelings to, okay, how can we connect this to something else? So it's always, I just stay in my own bubble, and then, yeah.
I feel like nah, your word. Shit, so if you had to sum it up, how was your year?
How was this year?
Yeah, like your year.
Oh my gosh, it was good. I feel like a cat with 9 lives though. It's a lot. It was a lot. But I would say, what's the word? I would say empowering, transformative, I don't know another word, but it was a good year. I'm not mad at it.
That's what's up.
I'm mad at it.
You got any questions, Luke?
No? Mr. Diesel, I'm glad you knew that.
Nah, y'all basically just saying everything I would have asked for sure.
Dope.
I want to ask you, like, I think I was about to ask you before when the camera cut off. When it comes to the whole concept of styling somebody or putting somebody else's outfit together, how do you kind of, cater your mind to putting yourself in somebody else's shoes at that point?
I don't know. I guess because I haven't styled anybody yet, but when I get to that point, I would be asking myself, okay, what is this person's taste? Like, what do they like to wear? What are they comfortable in? What colors do they like? What fits their body right? You know, what goes with the bigger picture that they're trying to present? whether it's for a photo shoot or a video. Like, what's the message, and how can the clothes support your message within whatever you're trying to do? So I hope that answers it.
Do you think about making dresses and all that? Oh, you did. I think you did say something about.
Yeah,
I
made a dress. I'll have to show you, but I know for sure my lane is sportswear. Like sportswear, so that's like, you know, shirt, jeans, jacket, like interchangeable stuff. I know for sure I want to do that, like high-end sportswear.
What about like socks, underwear, and all that too?
Why not? Get a bag. No, there's no limit. I also like jewelry too. Like,
I was gonna ask you that. Like, do you like gold? And
yeah, like gold. Or like, I like everything. I'm a little fashionista. I just love it. So I feel like within, you know, whatever I do, like, I'm just a very artsy girl. Like, I love fashion because I feel like that's the way to start with what I want to do. But of course, like, I want to do accessories, jewelry, shoes. I want to be like, I don't know the person's name, but architecture. It's just like, I want to do so much. So yeah. I
feel like, so you do it all at the crib, or you got like a studio or something, or only at school?
Yeah. So the light. So when I'm home, I'll do it at my house, and then when I'm at FIT, I'll go to the lab or the dorm. But I haven't really had time, because when I'm taking 6 classes. Well, this year I took 6 classes, so I didn't really have time to do my own ideas. Like, I did, but it was for, you know, school. So now that I'm home, I'll definitely be like, you know, drawing and doing my own thing, like at my house, and just regrounding myself.
Okay, word.
Back to back.
So, like, do you ever look at movies or shows or anything, and then any, like, because I don't know, when I look at movies, they don't really look like the actors really have on anything too fascinating. They be looking regular. So, like,
how do I get inspo from that?
Yeah.
Honestly, you know what's crazy? So last night I watched this show called George and Tammy, and it's about a couple from back in the day, and I was looking at their stuff and I was inspired because Tammy, she had on this jacket. It was like a high collar, but it's the 60s, like that's the vibe of the show. But it was like diamonds, and it was cream diamonds, but green within it, and it had different shapes. So what inspired me from it was the colors and how they put the jacket together, the silhouette, and like the structure of it.
Word.
So like certain things like that inspires me, because I'm like, ooh, like I'm not seeing that today, so how can I do that? And then I'll look up the costume designers.
My last question is, as a black woman, looking back on like history and everything, how do you feel about the evolution of fashion, you feel me, for black people in general, from, you know, back then until now?
I feel like that's a good question. I like it. I'm referring it to myself, but last year or the year before, my mom or my grandfather, he showed me a picture of my great grandmother, and she had on like this denim suit, a high neck collar, and I was just like, wow. Back in the day, in the 70s, they was wearing suits and dresses and stuff. Now today I'm wearing jeans and like a top. So I think it's really, really fascinating to see like the evolution and seeing how it's gonna grow even more. There's this designer, I love his work. Dang, his name is like Guaco. I'm probably butchering it, but his stuff is inspired by like what's the word? Like doctors and like nurses type thing. Medical field, yeah, that's what I'm trying. Medical field. He's doing medical field with fashion, but he's doing that like as a black designer, and I think that's like really, really dope. So with people like him, I'm just like, it's gonna keep, and like myself, like it's just gonna keep growing. So I love seeing the growth like within it. It's really inspiring.
Like, one more thing, what does art mean to you?
Oh my god, that's a good question. Everything. What does art mean to me? Art means a lot. It could mean, to me, it's like vulnerability, but it's also courage too. Because I feel like with art, whether it's music, fashion, design, like you're being vulnerable by expressing your ideas through it. So I just feel like art is very empowering too, and I feel like art made me who I am today, honestly, because it just helped me through my path and encourages me and helps me express myself when I'm overwhelmed or just any emotion. So it's like a home, I guess. Art is home. That's a deep thing, but yeah, it's home.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
You got any platforms or social media that you want to let the audience know about?
Okay guys, so you can follow me on my fashion page, Dreamer of Vision, DreamerOf Vision, VISON. You can follow me there, and I'll be posting like new clothes and stuff like that. And if you want like any styling done or pieces custom made, just let me know. But yeah.
Or you say you sing and stuff too. Do you have platforms for that?
Oh yeah. I have a SoundCloud, Upon a Mood, UPONMOOD. I also have a personal Instagram where I post my style. It's 925XX, and you can just hit me up on any of those. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. It was nice having you on the podcast today.
Thank you so much.
You got any last words or wisdom you want to give the audience?
Well, at first I want to say thank y'all so much for having me. Like, when I got that DM, I was like, oh my god, like, this is so dope. Like, no, because I'm low-key. I just do my own thing. I don't think nobody's paying attention. But I want to say, like, you never know who's paying attention to you, and just keep doing what you want to do, and remember the bigger picture. Even when the small pictures feel a little blurry, just remember the whole dynamic of what you're trying to do.
Appreciate you for joining us today, man. Yeah. It was nice having you, and wish you the best on your future endeavors with everything.
Thank you. I'll invite y'all to my New York Fashion Week when I get there. Okay?
Say no more.
Yes.